Hi, my name is Madhavi Venkatesan. I'm the Executive Director and Founder of Sustainable Practices. We're very happy to be with you today to tell you a little bit about our Cape-wide initiatives. This year in 2020, I'm very proud to say that we have initiated what we call the commercial single-use plastic water bottle ban. The single-use water bottle ban will prohibit retail sale of single-use plastic water bottle beverages in gallons and less than 1 gallon size of non-flavored, non-carbonated water. Today with me are both Virginia Scharfenberg and Christine Kirkin. Virginia is representing Mashpee in this particular initiative, and Christine Falmouth. We'll be talking to them in just a moment, but one last thing to let you know about the commercial ban is that we're very proud of this. At this particular time, it is the right thing to do. Some would argue that it was probably the right thing to do quite some time ago. But at a time when we see that human impact on this planet has actually created so many adverse consequences, including health and environmental, to say that we should have a pause and not continue to move forward to have an environmental agenda for the future is putting at risk our future. We cannot claim that urgency is needed with regard to reduction in climate change activities, specifically greenhouse gases, and not take action. And with that, we're going to talk specifically just about one question, which is why both Virginia and Christine believe now is the time in their respective communities to take a stand, and why they particularly believe in the activism in their communities that they actually have initiated. First, I'm going to start with Virginia. Virginia.
Okay. I have always been an environmental activist in either quiet or semi-loud ways. When I discovered that there was a group such as Sustainable Practices, I said, oh my gosh, where's Mashpee in that? And I thought, there's a great Cape-wide initiative going on. At that point, I was familiar with the municipal bans, and I said Mashpee needs to catch up with the rest of the Cape because we are a regional area, we're a tourist attraction, and we need to all be on the same page. So I have become involved and introduced a citizens petition for the municipal ban on single-use plastic bottles, and the rest will be history, I am assuming.
Wonderful. Now, Christine, you actually facilitated the municipal ban in the fall meeting in Falmouth in 2019, and it passed unanimously on town meeting floor. So that ban is already in effect, and it will actually go into actual effect on September 1st of this year, just a few weeks from now. Could you tell us a little bit about how you feel about the commercial ban, and also how you feel about what you've already done in terms of the 2019 municipal ban effort? Why do you think this is the right time to be involved?
Right. I think, simply put, this is the right time to be involved and take action because I personally see climate change as one of our biggest threats we face as humanity around the globe. And the consequences of not taking action are far too great. And it would be, in my opinion, such a shame, such a tragedy if 20 years from now, we're in a position where we look back and say, you know what, if we did something this moment, we wouldn't be dealing with the consequences that we are now. We don't want to look back and say, we should have. Yeah, so that being important to, keep the momentum going. It's great that we passed the municipal ban last year, 2019, and I'm looking forward to getting the commercial bottle ban passed because it just emphasizes that in order to really address sustainability and make significant changes, it's not just a once and done action. We need to keep moving and keep the momentum going and find areas where we as individuals have the capacity to make change. And a single-use plastic water bottle ban is where we do have the capacity and the power to make that change.
Now, one question that comes up oftentimes is, well, it's just water bottles. I mean, what's the big deal? You're only trying to get rid of a water bottle. What about all these other products that are on the grocery shelves that are in plastic? How is this going to affect them? Now, I'm going to start off the answer, and then I'm going to ask you to follow through. But the one thing is, when we think about single-use plastic water bottles, we're talking about a product that represents 60% of the beverage market. So when you tackle that one issue, you're not just talking about a single-use plastic water bottle, but you're talking about a huge impact to a grocery aisle shelf. Number one. Number two, as we've discussed in our organization, we need to look at the life cycle impact of plastic. And when we look at the water bottle, we're looking at the petroleum-based product that's used in the creation of that product, to the health impacts that are related to the ingestion of beverages and also food, which we haven't talked about yet, that are put in and packaged in those products. And then almost essentially, we are focusing on, in many ways,
So the idea that why don't we just recycle it? I think when you focus on recycling it, it kind of assumes the only problem with the product itself is it's not being recycled, when in fact the product has many problems along all points of its life cycle. So even if you could efficiently recycle all of it, you're still not addressing the carbon emissions and the extraction costs during the production of the product itself, and you're not addressing the health issues while you're using the product at that moment.
And Virginia?
Yes, I agree so much with Christine, but I know in Mashpee anyway, I get the sense that many people are budget conscious. And it was interesting because I spoke with the director of DPW yesterday, asking her one question, and that was, is it true that it costs our town to dispose of plastic, quote, recycle it? And what about aluminum? And if I'm remembering the figures correctly, she said the town has to pay out $140 to get rid of a ton of plastic. In terms of aluminum, the town gets paid $85 per ton. So if all you have in mind is economy, that's one way to look at it. I think another is that young people, they can get used to anything that is introduced to them and makes sense. But I think first I feel like we have to educate them about why single-use plastic doesn't make sense. Because I know I never really thought about it until I was involved with this organization. I thought more about if I'm recycling it, then I'm perfect. And I realize now that that's not the case at all. The long-term impacts are what we're leaving for our grandchildren.
Well, thank you both very much. I'm really hoping that we can continue to have this conversation with the general public. The number one thing that we're hoping to get out of this is to have you inspired into partaking in our activism. This is the time. We are the change. And what that really means is that we have to live by and abide by the change that we say that needs to be made. That is one way of either visualizing that change and making it into reality, and also participating in the making of that change. Thank you so much.